Welcome back to Two Sense Unfiltered, the place where political theater gets stripped down, narratives get challenged, and we cut through the noise to figure out what's really happening behind the headlines. Today's topic is one that frustrates families, government workers, military service members, business leaders, investors, and anyone who believes the federal government should operate like the adults in the room. We're breaking down why the government shutdown lasted so long and how it could have ended sooner, not through emotions, not through political fan club loyalty, but through history, process, incentives, political calculus, and negotiation dynamics. If you think the shutdown was about money, think bigger. If you think it was about principles, think deeper. And if you think it couldn't have ended faster, think again. What a government shutdown actually is. Before we start throwing blame, accusations, or assumptions, we need clarity. A government shutdown happens when Congress fails to pass and the president fails to sign appropriations bills or continuing resolutions to fund federal agencies. Unlike many countries with automatic funding continuity, the US system stops the machine if the budget process breaks. Key shutdown truths people overlook. 1. It's not about whether the government has money. It always has money. Spending authority is paused, not funds exhausted. 2. Essential functions continue: military, social security, air traffic control, border patrol, emergency health care, but without guaranteed pay until resolved. 3. The shutdown mechanism exists to force negotiation, meaning it's a political tool built into the system. Shutdowns are not accidents, they are strategic standoffs. Why this particular shutdown lasted so long? Every shutdown has unique causes, but several repeat patterns. Some drag on for weeks instead of days. 1. Political incentives. Reward. Public conflict. Members of Congress don't just negotiate, they perform for future campaign reels, fundraising messages, and social media clips. A shutdown creates stage lighting, drama, and momentum. 2. Leaders calculate who will get blamed. Each side believed the other side would break first, not because of strategy, but because of public opinion polls, media framing, and internal party boosts. The longer it went, the more each side dug in. 3. The base was watching, and loyalty tests began. Shutdowns turned into purity tests. Are you tough enough? Will you compromise like the weak establishment? Are you loyal to the cause or selling out? 4. Lack of shared negotiation ground. When both sides demand 100% outcomes rather than acceptable compromises, the shutdown becomes a waiting game rather than a deal-making session. 5. Messaging victory became more important than operational recovery. The goal shifted from ending the shutdown to winning the narrative. That is the moment when resolution becomes delayed. The real costs. Shutdowns aren't symbolic. They have real, measurable consequences. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers miss paychecks. Military and first responders worry about personal finances. Small businesses lose federal loan access. Federal contractors permanently lose income. National parks and services deteriorate. Billions in GDP vanish, never to be recovered. Markets lose confidence and long-term growth weakens. All three branches lose credibility globally. Adversaries exploit perceived instability. And ironically, shutdowns cost more money than normal operations due to restart costs, contract delays, and productivity loss. It is the political version of setting your car on fire to avoid paying for gas. Behind the scenes, negotiation, dynamics. Political negotiation isn't like business, military talks, or family mediation. No direct consequences for failure. Politicians keep getting paid, their benefits remain intact, and their jobs are secure until the next election cycle. Multiple negotiating tables. There isn't one room, there are 5. 1. Leadership meeting rooms. 2. Committee rooms. 3. Caucus rooms. 4. Media rooms. 5. Social media feedback loops. Deals struggle when more rooms matter than the room where decisions get made. The who turns the lights on first game shutdowns become political staring contests. The first side to blink loses moral high ground. How it could have ended sooner. There were several realistic pathways to end the shutdown faster. Let's break down the ones with the greatest probability of success. Strategy number 1: focus, negotiation on principles, not personalities. Instead of, are we giving them a win? The focus should have been, what version of this meets at least 60% of both priorities? Strategy number 2: early use of binding mediation. Other democratic nations use mandatory neutral arbitration. Removing public performance pressure accelerates resolution. Strategy number three, decouple single item disputes. Budgets fail when one contested issue blocks 100% of funding. A solution, fund everything agreed upon, then isolate the dispute into a separate vote. Strategy number four, enact personal accountability rules. If elected officials also missed pay, lost benefits, or faced job performance consequences, shutdowns would end rapidly. Strategy number five, temporary automatic funding. This prevents shutdowns while negotiations continue. Disagreements get debated without civilian collateral damage. Strategy number six, maximize closed door negotiation time. The longer cameras stay rolling, the longer shutdowns last. Public messaging extends the battle. Who actually lost? The shutdown wasn't won by the left or the right. It wasn't won by Congress, the president, or the media. The losers were everyday working Americans, federal civil servants, military families, veterans awaiting payouts, businesses dependent on government timing, the economy, national trust. Meanwhile, political messaging packs and media networks profited. Shutdowns are symbolic power competitions with real world victims. If a government cannot fund itself because it cannot agree with itself, then the system is not broken. The leadership philosophy is the purpose of elected office should be represent your people, govern responsibly, negotiate intelligently, reject extremism, protect the country first. We need leaders who treat governing not as warfare, but as shared stewardship. America doesn't fail when parties disagree. America fails when disagreement becomes the mission. Shutdowns are not a sign of strength, they are a sign of strategic dysfunction. Until we implement accountability, consequence, transparency, and negotiation friendly rules, shutdowns will continue, not because they must, but because they work for the people who cause them. Thank you for joining me on Two Sense Unfiltered. If this episode made you think deeper, harder, or differently, like, share, subscribe, and drop your thoughts. America deserves solutions, not stalemates.